joining us, you guys. This is going to be a great show today. I'm very excited. So we are really honored to have today the national speaker of Realtor.com with us. She goes around the country basically sharing her breaking down strategies and tips and tricks for realtors and brokers to help you all succeed. She also runs the podcast for Realtor.com, the Results Series podcast. And so let's give welcome Angie Javier. Thank you for being on with us today.
Oh, hello, Brandon. Thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to this for some time, and we're going to have a really great conversation today all about setting goals and marketing and all the fun stuff for 2025.
All right. And we did get a lot of questions in ahead before the webinar. So thank you all for sending your questions as we come, and they are all over the board. We have people that are trying to just start using AI and wanting to know how to use it for real estate. And then we have brokers wanting to know, hey, I want to recruit more agents. So it's really all over, and we're going to try to hit a lot of the questions. And then, like I said, we'll follow up with answers to any questions that we don't get to today. So, Angie, you were actually just speaking at National Association Realtor event not too long ago, and then we both have a team at Triple Play today, so we are all over the country as well doing these. What would you tell us a quick little update from Realtor.com, because I didn't, or from National Association Realtor event, because I did not get to attend this year in Boston.
NAR always brings such a great energy because you have the best of the best practitioners come together in one place to learn, grow their business. There's all the committee meetings, in addition to, I worked in our booth the entire time. We have a classroom set up. And so we see a lot of our customers and even prospective customers who are always wondering about Realtor.com. So I love it because I get to be face to face with everybody. I also got to join a couple of the committee meetings. We support the Fair Housing Committee with Realtor.com and NAR. And so it's really just nice to see what everybody's doing and coming together. And I think ultimately, everyone is working to make sure that buyers are continuing to be supported. Everyone is advocating for the buyers' rights. People want to make sure that their sellers are protected. It's just all around good energy, good group of people just wanting to learn and grow their business.
Yeah, and anyone that's on here, if you aren't attending these conferences, I'll tell you, we love, as a technology company, we don't get to talk to you all that much other than our support team, and we're always answering the phone. But being out there in person and getting to hear your suggestions and ideas and telling us what's working on, that's one of our favorite parts about it. So, and I think that when you go and you attend these conferences around the country, what in your area, you're going to be around other people that are going over and above. They're trying to do better, and so you end up, it's a really good networking, but you always kind of leave those feeling refreshed and ready to go. And especially this time of year, a lot of people are scaling it back and really all about getting more into the holidays and not working so much. So I think doing, especially because that one's always in November, it gives you that boost to get through December. And everyone that's on this podcast, good job for even getting up and being on the podcast to learn more today. That's really what you all should be doing right now in this time. Even if your business is slow, be using that time to gain knowledge and get your systems ready to go so we can rock it in 2025.
I will add one more thing to that. A question I get quite often from agents and brokers alike is how can I differentiate myself? It's so competitive out there, so many agents coming in. One way, very simple, is just to show up at your association and national events. It is such a game changer, not only for your business, but a huge differentiator when you're out there and you're speaking to your customers and clients and showing them how involved you are in the industry and how you're supporting your community that way. It's such a game changer. I know so many agents who are highly involved. They've started off as an association member, went up to leadership. Now they're committee leaders, and it's just a really great way to add to your business.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm one of my goals is to get to more events this year, just to be out there, and it's just good for everyone. So I highly recommend that. But let's get into some tips and technology for everyone, because I know the time goes by fast once we're on here. And so we got a lot of questions about being the end of the year goal setting. So So what are some of your thoughts on back to a lot of people, we all know we should be setting goals, and a lot of times we even set the goals, but then we don't look at that document or that form or system again. What's your tips and tricks on goal setting, Angie?
Yeah, I really love this question. The first step to really be successful with goal setting is having the right mindset. You are all entrepreneurs, you're all salespeople, but at the end of the day, you have to show up for your clients in a way that no other salesperson could do, right? We are in a completely different way of helping people and servicing them in their real estate needs. So that mindset is everything, not only the mindset to succeed, but the mindset coming from a place of service and understanding that your buyers and sellers are going to have challenges, and it's every day is not going to be an easy day, but having the proper mindset and then having the support to ensure that you're accountable for all of your actions, right? And so with that, coaching, mentoring, masterminds, whatever that might look like for you and your business, very important to have the proper support around you. Many solo agents find that support in their team leaders, in their brokers. If you come from a really big team, a lot of times they have mastermind groups that meet throughout the week. So I think that mindset, having the support, and then also utilizing data and resources to know what your goals are going to be for the following year. So for example, realtor.com, we just launched our 2025 housing forecast last week. You can just simply go to realtor.com or do a quick Google search. We're kind of all over the place right now. It's been spotlighted in several news outlets, but always just kind of a good report and forecast to take a look at as you are putting your plans together and seeing how you want to grow. The other report that I highly recommend is the NAR Profile of Home Buyers and Sellers report, just to understand consumer needs and consumer behavior. And just, the numbers kind of haven't really shifted over the past few years since early 2020. But it's really good to understand, like, having that foundation of what buyers are expecting from their realtors, how sellers are, utilizing their realtors to their capacity, right? And so having the data and utilizing it is so much better than just winging it, right? So that's kind
Oh,
of how
absolutely.
I let agents know you got to be prepared. If there's one thing, it's definitely that mindset shift.
Yes, yes, and in Wise Agent, just a quick look. I'm gonna share my screen here so you can see um, how how we can use technology to help with that goal setting. So when you log into the front page on Wise Agent over here on the dashboard, if you just open that up, there's a tab called Goal Tracker, and when you go to the Goal Tracker, this is where you can very easily, if you're not using another tool to set goals, this is an easy place where you can just come and you can set your annual sales goal, the number of homes you want to sell, and it'll kind of help figure it out together over here on the left. You click on edit your goals and set them, and it can be a team goal or an individual goal. And then on the right side, this is where you can go set all the short-term goals that are going to help you reach these numbers on the left. So you can kind of sit down and figure out how many open houses am I going to have? How many phone calls am I going to make each week? Or the things, and really the key is, and these aren't really good examples on this site, but you can add any kind of goals you want, and it'll break it down into the number of touches you need to do each week. And then as you're doing those, you can track them. So you can see if you're on, how did you hold them as many open houses as you needed to? Did you, go through and hit all the goals? And I think the key to goal setting is set goals that you can be consistent at. So it doesn't have to be outrageous goals, but if you know, hey, I can only do one open house a week, then that's your goal, or maybe try to make it two, or maybe it's one a month. But if you can hit consistency is such a big key to reaching your goals. And so if you make your goals things where you're all over the board and there's no way you're going to be able to consistent doing it, you will end up not hitting your goals. So make them easy and make them things that you can do consistently, and use the technology to track those goals so you don't lose what you're doing.
100%, Brandon. Yeah, that the consistency is everything to the execution of the goals, right? And I love the goal tracker that is in Wise Agent. I have several agent friends that are avid users of Wise Agent and they're utilizing it, and the tools are right there. It makes it so easy. And here's another, like, sometimes I think agents or just people in general tend to make things harder than they need to be, right? There's different ways to set goals in spreadsheets and trying to put all these different systems together. Wise Agent has it all. It's all in one place, and you've made it super simple to show kind of that baseline, that dollar amount that they need to reach. I think it's
Right.
incredible.
Yeah, yeah. How many? And I see people asking, how many calls do I need to make? And even with the calls, we can take it to another level. So you can absolutely, you need to set a goal of calls on your goal tracking, but then you can go in and say and pull all the people that you need to call, right into your daily call list, so that each day you can set the goals ahead of time. So each morning when you log in, right on your dashboard, you're going to see everyone you need to call that day. And then when you start making those calls, you just click the little phone icon and it'll open up all the notes and everything from the past, so you can get a good reminder of what you were looking at before, or what you talked about in the last conversation. And now you can make your call, you can type in the notes about your current conversation, and then schedule the next call, so you never miss a beat on your calls. And it kind of works with that goal tracking. So yeah, each little piece. But that's a great question, Maya. Thank you. Calls are such an important part. Getting back to the basics is always something that we talk about. It seems like we always move away from the basics, and then when your business isn't down, that's going to be something that should just pop right in your head. Oh, I need to get back to the basics. And number one thing, picking up that phone, making the calls.
Yes.
All right. And then Angie, we also got a lot of calls on using technology, new AI, and what are your thoughts, and how are you using AI, and how are you seeing brokers using AI? At a high level, and also very simplified. There's a lot of people that have not used any AI, and they're not even sure what we're talking about when we say AI. So
Yeah, it's such a wide spectrum of how agents and brokers are using AI. One of the things I did at NAR is I hosted this mastermind workshop on AI, and it was just this roundtable conversation, and it was really great. I think we were only expecting about 20 or so people. We had well over 100 people standing in this like circle, talking about AI. And what I'm seeing and hearing, as I'm talking to agents every day, is majority of agents are still in that discovery phase, utilizing simple tools like ChatGPT or Google Gemini to come up with copy and scripts for their video, for their Instagram, which is absolutely great. It's been such a saving grace in productivity for a lot of agents. I know a lot of brokers that are using it for script writing and helping them in their recruiting, helping up with like coaching techniques. It's been really incredible. And then you see more of the advanced use of it and creating scheduling. I met this one broker at the Alliance event a few months ago, and he is actually trained his own GPTs in OpenAI to help him and his agents with marketing any of their listings. So he's trained it where he can just put in a simple prompt, and it'll come up with an entire marketing plan, everything from pre-listing, setting up for the open house, to post-listing, everything that the agent needs to do for their seller. And so those are like some of the more advanced ways that we're seeing it being used in real estate. But yeah, for me, I don't sell real estate, so I use a lot of it for my marketing. I actually use a lot of it for brainstorming because, I'm a virtual worker. I don't have my team around me. And so sometimes I just need to get those ideas out. And so I love opening ChatGPT, or even Magic Write in Canva they have made Magic Write so great. I'll just go in there and have conversations with my different AIs, and I get a lot of great ideas out of it. So it's fun.
Yeah. And we do have AI built right into Wise Agent. I can show really quick for you all as well while we're on it. And this, let me jump back in here. And so when you're in our content writer over here on the left, you can just click the button and it'll open up. We call it our AI writing assistant. And I just put in a prompt here for you to kind of show a little more detail. You can go very generic. Hey, give me 3 touches to send it. I just finished doing an open house and I need an email to send to everyone that was here, and it'll write that. Or you can give it a little more detail, right? Like right here, I've said create a localized 3 email touch campaign I can send to those stopping by my open house in Fire Rock Country Club. So now it knows what subdivision I'm in Fountain Hills, Arizona. That's where we're at today. To start building a relationship as their go-to realtor for Fire Rock Country Club. So I kind of just told it in my head, here's what I'm trying to write. How would you do it? And then it just right away wrote the 3 emails out. And it's never something that I want to just take and use. You're gonna have to read it and edit it, and put your own, make it sound like it's coming from you. But each one of these emails now you can see is just very well written. And then because I said make it localized and I gave them the subdivision, now it's added that right into the emails, so they do sound very local. So people that were looking, stopped by my open house yesterday at this Fire Rock Country Club, they know where they were, and it just is going to touch them a little bit more because these are worded nice. And then in Wise Agent, after it writes it, you just click on it and it'll pull them right into your editor. So now I can go in and edit it, put my information, and then when I save it, now I can add that to a drip campaign, and I can use that over and over again every time I have an open house in Fire Rock. That can be part of my touches after the fact, to send out, and I can have it write text messages too, so it doesn't have to just be email. It can even help me figure out a script for my phone call. So if I want to do an email, send a text, and then do a call the next day, it'll help do all that. So very, very easy, but you can, I think we were all being very simple, giving it prompts, and now we're finding out, hey, if you tell a little more and give it the subdivision and say, hey, I want to be more localized, it can talk to people more in different voices, the more you give details of what kind of prompt you want.
What I love about your tool is that it's all in one place. So
Yeah.
ChatGPT and Magic, all of that is great, but oftentimes we're having to shift from different platforms, right? So I'm writing it, I'm creating it here. Now I need to move it in one place. In Wise Agent, it's in one place. And so it makes it super easy, especially if you're managing and juggling multiple clients and prospects and following up, it's just all there. And I love the simplicity of it.
Thank you, thank you. That's always a struggle, and as we get more and more suggestions, we're constantly adding new features, and then it gets bigger, and we're trying to simplify it so it's easy to use every tool. But that's a big thing at Wise Agent for over 20 years now. The way we build this, you all, is that we listen to our members. So if as you're building your business and you have a problem, that's what our passion is, solving your problems using technology. So you write in, give us your suggestions, and we build the technology, and then it goes live. And you're not just helping yourself; we're helping people all over the world, really, with this technology. And so that's what we love doing. And everything you use in Wise Agent has been created or thought of or suggested by some of your fellow broker and realtors out there. So. Um, and then we got a lot of questions about lead generation. And I know that's you, I'm talking to realtor.com here, and that is what you all do. So what are some of your tips, and not just on realtor.com, but you doing lead gen and other ways as well?
Yeah, every day you're all prospecting for more buyers and more sellers, and there's so many ways that you can bring them into your pipeline. I would say, actually, if it's okay, Brandon, I'd like to ask our audience here, we can just talk through it. Where are you generating the most business from? Right? So is it your referrals? Is it through prospecting, farming? Are you working with online leads, social media? I would just kind of like to see our audience here where you're getting most of your business from. And as I expected, majority is from referrals, sphere of influence, some social media, Facebook, some paid ads, right? And we're constantly should be in front of people, because at any moment you could be talking to your next buyer or your next seller. Now, the question that came in here that we got before the webinar was for more high intent leads. Where can we meet people who are already further into their search and more intentional to move forward? And the easy, hands down, is to utilize a site like realtor.com. People are coming to our site literally to look at real estate listings, or they're looking for realtors, right? So the folks on our site are more intentional, they're more further in their search. So they usually start on the other sites, right? I'm not going to say who they are. They'll usually start on the other sites. They'll be on there for a few seconds. And then once they start diving in more and they want to really get more granular, we're finding them on our site. They're spending more minutes on our site. And so to me, that's more intentional, right? And we're seeing a huge just kind of a demand of consumers reaching out to realtors and agents through realtor.com. Now, Brandon, they may not be ready to move today. They may not be ready to sign a contract before the year is over, but you have someone that's kind of warm, right? If not
Right.
warm for 2025. And so you still got to convert the lead, just like you'd have to convert them from your Facebook or from if your broker's giving you leads, you still got to do the conversion, but they are more high intentional on realtor.com. And the bottom line is more consumers and customers, the industry as a whole, trust realtor.com. We have the resources. We're here advocating for buyers and for sellers. And so it just makes sense that if you're looking to grow more into your pipeline, realtor.com is a great fit, because if you really want to work with more serious buyers, they're on our site.
Yes, yes. And I saw in the comments, Coach Kama Burton was on here, and I had her as a guest a few weeks ago. And one of the things I loved that she was talking about is that she's very involved in her community. So she's in several different groups, nothing to do with real estate, giving back to the community in different ways. And what happens is the people that she's volunteering with end up asking her, so what do you do for a living? And she tells them, and sure enough, she's got many success stories built. So getting out there in your community, and it's what it looks like a lot of our members are doing. So good job, because that's where referrals are coming from. So even if the people that she's volunteering with aren't the ones actually looking to buy, they might have a friend or a neighbor say, hey, my neighbors just told me last night they were thinking about selling their house. I could give you their name. So it's getting out there and building relationships. And that's really what so much of it's about. And if you get that relationship built, then that's where the repeat business and the referrals come from. And so good job for a lot of you all that are doing it right, because you wouldn't be getting referrals like you see over here in the comment section if you weren't doing that right. And then with the leads coming in that you're getting from sources like your website, or even open houses, when you have them sign up on a landing page, so now it becomes a digital lead going into your CRM, or from places like realtor.com. Buying the lead is just the very first part. Getting that, and then you want to make sure that before you ever even buy a lead or set up a landing page, that when you're setting that up, you make sure that those leads are automatically going to drop into your CRM the second a lead comes in. And we do that. We help you out with that a lot. And one of the things we're really excited about with realtor.com is that they took it to another level. Instead of just sending the initial lead in, which we've been able to do for years, now they've added to their API, and they're able to send a lot more as they get more information from that buyer or seller. They're able to talk to our CRM and fill in more information. The more information the easier it is for you to talk to that person and build a relationship, which will in turn end up creating that transaction for you, because you'll build the trust by building a relationship. And so real quick, I keep jumping in, but we're hitting on a lot of technology here. So we do have some technology that will help you out. I think you guys are going to see. So I'm going to share my screen again and show you in Wise Agent kind of what it would look like when I'm setting up that lead. So you can go to the lead rules in Wise Agent, and you can set up different rules for every source of lead coming in. So you would have a different rule for realtor.com, because you have not met those people. So you're going to talk to them different than, like in this case, I was creating a rule for people that are going to be at my open house later today. So now these are people I'm going to actually have a face-to-face. So I'm not going to want to talk to them the same as the leads come in from realtor.com or from my website, because I haven't really met those people. So one of the cool things about Wise Agent is that every different source, and you could have 100 different sources of leads, you can pre-think out when they come in from this, how do I want, what's my voice to them? And some of them, these are only going to be buyers and these are only going to be sellers. Well, then you can even talk to them in that manner as well. But the key is it's really easy to pre-think out, before I hold this open house today, I'm going to set up a lead source. And then I'm going to create a drip campaign, using that technology to help me write out those drips. That will set that up, and I can link that to it. Just grab the right drip campaign, and now I know anyone that goes through my open house, they're going to be on my 10-day conversion plan, or whichever drip campaign I want to put them on that I wrote for probably that neighborhood. And then I'm going to, really important, you all, is to make sure you're putting your leads, everyone that goes into your database, into categories. And that way, it's easy to find when you go to do an email blast or a text or make your phone calls. You can say, hey, I want to find everyone that I got from realtor.com that was interested in my listing in Fire Rock, and so you can really narrow it down instead of just kind of knowing, hey, this is everyone from an open house. It's better to know open house at this certain neighborhood, so we can be more detailed when we talk to them. And then we're going to just go through and mark do I want to call this person? Yes. Do I want to get notifications? Yes. And I can click on the email reply as soon as that lead comes in, or maybe when they're walking out of the open house. Do I want to send them an immediate email just saying, hey, thanks for stopping by, even before the drip campaign starts? And I can also then say the same thing. Maybe I want to send an immediate text. So as they're getting in their car, they already got a thank you for stopping by so now they've got a text, and when they get home, they get the email, that kind of thing. And then that leads us to one more right here. This next tab is called our AI bot. And so this is a different kind of artificial intelligence, where the other one was all about writing the conversion emails and text for us and helping us get the content ready with our writing assistant with ChatGPT backed up with that. This one is an AI bot that's going to help us actually convert the leads. And so this one, you do need to know, are these leads going to be buyer leads, seller, renter, a new home loan if you're in mortgage. And then once you turn that on, now you're going to give it a name when you set the bot up and everything. So it'll start reaching out to every lead that, like, the realtor.com sends in. It can immediately text them. Maybe you're out showing a house and you don't have time. Everyone knows speed to lead is so important. Well, now this system will start saying, someone will write to him and say, hi, my name is Rebecca. I saw that you were interested in this house over here. Have you already talked to a lender? And then it'll ask, oh, were you looking for a house with a pool? And it starts just gathering information. And then at one point, after it gets enough information, it'll hand that lead over and say, hey, Angie, this guy's ready to list or ready to buy, and you need to take over the conversation. And so that's kind of how the AI bot system will work. And we get a lot of really good testimonials on that. So give that a shot. It's really, and the thing about that is that it doesn't ever get its feelings hurt. So if it tries to send 10 or 12 texts, after a few weeks, and it's never gotten a reply, it doesn't give up. 3 weeks later, it'll text again, and all the time, it's a couple months out, and it just sends it at the right time, and the person starts replying and having a conversation. So that's another lesson we can learn from AI is, don't get frustrated. There's a lot of times that we're just not hitting it at the right time, but if you just keep on dripping on them with thoughtful emails and texts, there's a good chance, if they haven't told you to stop, there's no reason to stop. Keep going, and you can convert them much further down the road if you don't let your fears and feelings get involved in that process. And then the other big piece would be, which is to set up distribution. So if you're getting a lot of leads and you're on a team, you can set that up so that the leads come in and get distributed to the right team members, or if you're a broker buying them, or you can put them in the Shark Tank or round robin them, or do them by zip code. So it's an easy way to make sure that you get the leads to the right person so that they can get in touch with them and start that conversion process as soon as possible. So that was a quick, some technology to back up what Angie was talking about, the lead conversion.
I love a good technology tip. And that was a really big one, because if you don't have your tech in place or your follow-up cadence in place, your leads and your referrals mean nothing. And here's the thing, even if you have every intent to be in touch with someone, if you're not consistently staying in contact with your people, someone else is. I guarantee there's at least 1 or 2 agents out there that are doing all of this work and you're just waiting around, right? So don't miss out. You have the tools right here. So many of you here are already Wise Agent customers. A lot of you here are also Realtor.com customers. If you have not put the two together, this is your sign for 2025 to tech stack and put it together. We actually have a light CRM built in the Realtor.com professional dashboard. So for our customers that are a part of Connections Plus, or even if they're using the Ready Connect in the app, there's a light CRM functionality in there. But I will tell you, Brandon, most of our top customers and those who are a part of bigger teams, they are utilizing Wise Agent because of this automation. It's more robust. There's that AI built into it. And then one great thing that I love in Wise Agent is the texting. So you can actually make that a part of your follow-up process right in there. So put the two together, it just makes sense. So this is what we're talking about, right? Success in 2025. How do we do it? This is it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I saw Lisa put a good question in there, and her concern is when she's sending out these emails, she worked so hard to get an email address from a lead, maybe they come, and then she starts sending out emails and they unsubscribe, and she feels like at that point I lost them. What would you say to that, Angie?
Yeah, so and actually see there's a really good response here from your team. Certainly definitely reach out to them one-on-one. Usually the unsubscribed is from the automated drip emails and who knows why. And I would want to know why, right? And so I would write to them directly, just like it's recommended here, and say, sorry to see you go. Was there anything we could have done better? Would you, and offer other ways to stay connected? Would you prefer
Right.
to set up a phone call? This is actually a really great opportunity to get that one-on-one back, right? Face to face.
Yes.
Maybe ask them to connect on social media. So if you're on Instagram every day, if you're on Facebook every day, make sure that they're following you there. Maybe that's enough for them, right? And in fact, it's even better to have that visibility on social media because they feel like they're getting to know you. And the next time you see each other in person, you feel like you're old friends, right? And so
Right.
I would reach out to them one-on-one. Sorry to see you go. What could I do better? Is there other ways that we can stay connected? How can I ensure that I'm here to support you in whatever you need as a buyer or seller, right? Just really come from a place of service and wanting to help them.
Right, and that could again, you can use the AI system to help you write out the perfect email to try to get some details. And then the other thing I would say there is pick up the phone at that point, because you can call and say, "Hey, I just wanted to apologize. I saw you unsubscribe," and sometimes they say, "Oh, I hit the button on accident," or other times like, "Oh, you're a real person. I thought you were," they're kind of they're surprised. So it could be an opportunity to start that relationship because. They were just cleaning out the email. Now they got a phone call, and they really they weren't even upset, but we read it as, oh, they don't like me. And then the other piece is the ones that do unsubscribe, you don't want to be emailing them anyway. So they probably, maybe they are a realtor, or their mom is a realtor. There's a lot of reasons why. So even if you don't get home, don't let it hurt your feelings. It is a numbers thing, and so when you're working leads, you're trying to get a lot of leads in, and then you're going to filter those down, and some of them are going to be ready now, some are ready later, in the future, and some may not want to hear from you again, and it's okay. I think just don't let it hurt your feelings when you get those, but give it one more shot and pick up that phone would be my advice on something like that. All right. And then let's see, the automation, I guess, was another big key thing, not necessarily on the AI, but just on automating processes
Mhm.
throughout there's so many different things we have to do as realtors to be a success. What are any tips you have on how to automate more things and make so I can be consistent at it and not keep dropping the ball as soon as I get busy? Because a lot of them, that's what we see, is they start getting going, and then as soon as they get business, that takes all their time driving around and doing, and then they have to kind of start again, automating different pieces of their bit, or not, because they don't have the automation, they have to start again.
Right. I will start off by saying automation is great. It helps us in our productivity, but do not rely on automation to convert your leads. Okay. And I know Wise Agent has great tools, realtor.com. We have some incredible automation. Once the lead comes in, we automatically will send them a text message and an email in under 1 minute, acknowledging that they have come in. So the speed to lead is automated, right? But what I see quite often is agents add everyone to the drip. They're doing all this automation through AI, but they're losing that human connection. And what's
Mm.
really going to convert your business is that one-to-one follow-up. Okay. So that I just like to add that disclaimer before we talk about automation, because what's truly going to convert your referrals and leads into clients is that one-to-one follow-up. Okay. Now, that being said, understanding what automation is available in your tools is very important. So just like I mentioned with realtor.com leads, we automatically text and email them within the first minute, and those messages go out in the first person. So it actually sounds like you took that time to say, hey, received your lead, when can we talk? So those are all written in first person. So it looks like that speed to lead is coming from you, right? And then, like I said, a lot of our top customers, they're utilizing Wise Agent because there's more robust follow-up tools in there. So you're all here today to learn and to do the training and to see what's available in both platforms. It's really important to know the training is always there. I'm one of the trainers at realtor.com. Brandon has an incredible team and support team to support all your customers. Take the time to continue growing your business and understanding the technology and how they work together. And that was the purpose of this, right? To showcase how our two really amazing platforms to help agents grow work together and they sync together. And so that's why we're here.
Yes, yes, yeah, and yeah, that human touch is so important. I think that's why getting out there face to face, holding open houses is really a great thing when you're talking about getting back to the basics. They still work today, um, and then there's a lot of things that you are all automatically doing. And Angie was mentioning the Association of Realtor reports that come out, and they always talk about what are the biggest pain points for buyers and sellers, and over and over again it continues to be, they feel like, I listed my house with the agent and then I didn't hear from him again until I got the contract, or their lack of communication. And
Yeah.
so they're telling you every year, if you look at the surveys, that they want to hear from you more often. So a lot of times we feel like, even as YG, we don't want to send too many emails because we don't want to, offend someone. But they have signed an agreement with you. They want you to sell their house. They want to be hearing from you, hearing updates. And so don't hesitate to reach out. And then on the other side of that, a lot of us, you're doing it with so many people. Maybe you're getting too busy, and so that's where technology and automation can all come into play on a different level. And I'll share my screen again and show you all what I'm thinking about when I was saying this was our transaction checklist. So in Wise Agent, anytime you start a transaction, whether you're on the buyer side or you're representing the seller, you're going to launch a checklist that you've created a template for ahead of time. So you already know, with your, maybe you sit down with your broker or your team leader and you know everything, all the fields you need to fill in, and you can just, you customize this however you want. But basically this is a place that you're going to record everything that happens in this transaction, so that for the rest of your career you can click back on and see every detail about every transaction you've done, when you did it, who all was involved, and how it went. But when you're setting these up, you can set up something called triggers. And what a trigger is that anytime you check off a box or make an action in here, you can have an action happen because of that you've already pre-thought out. And so, for instance, as I say, I scheduled the pest inspection, something so simple. I picked up a phone and I scheduled it for my buyer, seller, whatever it is. I could have a note pre-written or an email pre-written that whenever I check that box, it sends a nice, well thought out email to my buyer, or in this case, to let them know, hey, today I scheduled the pest inspection. Here's the benefit of that. Here's why we're doing that. And it can just be an email I wrote once, and it'll put their name on it, but it's really for everyone. So every time I hang a sign up, it sends an email out to my seller telling them, hey, I stopped by and put a sign up today. And they didn't not only see the sign or the lockbox on their house, but they got another communication from you telling them what you did. And you guys are doing these things already. You're making flyers for every listing, but you're not taking time to send a quick email or text to your client and let them know, hey, today I did this for you, and here's how that's going to help move this and find us a buyer. And so you can pre-think all those out, and as you're checking things off, it can be in the background, it's sending out the email or the text communication, and your client is constantly every day, because you're doing something every day for these listings or for your buyer, and that you don't tell them about because it's such a normal part of your job, but it does mean a lot to your client. And so that would be something that I would recommend. Use our transaction checklist with the triggers, and then have that automated so that you can keep your name and your face in front of them throughout the whole transaction. And of course, you can use those for anything, but that just kind of was my quick thought on some neat automation that will help maybe get that change the number one answer for ups why what clients don't like about their agents, and help work on that piece.
Did you see Kama's comment here from a broker's mind? Helps
No, I
with
missed it.
compliance. Absolutely. From a broker's perspective and how you are ensuring that your agents are compliant in the process. It's a really great technique.
Super, super, yeah. And like anything, anything good, there's a lot, you have to do a lot of pre-thought and do a little work up front. But that's the key with automation, is you do the work up front, you do it once, and now for the next 5 years, it's gonna work. Every time you put a lockbox on, check that thing off. You need to record it anyway, so you have a record that you did it. And then it'll fire off an email explaining how important a lockbox is to have in your house, and how I'm going to help you sell your home with that. And then the other piece of those triggers, you guys, is maybe you have an assistant or other team members, and you can have it text them and say, "Hey, I put the sign up. It's time for you to go put the flyers in." So you can automate that piece of it too, with among your inside team, letting them know things. So there's some good automation tips for you.
Yep.
Okay, and then I see we've got a few questions on crafting a business plan for 2025. So I know that kind of goes back to the goals, but it is coming up again. So I guess what would your thoughts be on a full business plan for agents or brokers?
Yeah, you can absolutely use ChatGPT or whatever AI platform that you love being in to create a plan for anything in your business. I would say instead of writing an entire business plan, pick a part of your business that you really need to dive into. So usually in your business plans, you have the financial goals in there, you have the number of leads that you need to get, your marketing strategy, social media, how many videos, it keeps going, right? So I just like to use the example of a social media strategy, because I know that's where a lot of agents are trying to focus more time on. Social media is free. So you can go, and here's the prompt. Okay. Let's see if we can capture this and put in the chat. The prompt is, I am a realtor in your community name. I want to have a bigger social media presence in 2025. Give me a 6-month strategy for Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever it is. Okay. So I am a realtor in this community. I want to have a bigger presence on social media. Give me a 6-month strategy for whatever platform. Okay. Now, the reason why I say 6 months is because social media is always changing. We don't know if we're going to have a new TikTok or a different version of Facebook come June, right? So, and social media is one of those things you should really be in it every day. I don't mean you got to post every day, but you got to be in there engaging and reacting and DMing in people every day. And so 6 months is more doable. It's more attainable, if you will. So yeah, absolutely. And again, it could be ChatGPT. You could do it in Google Gemini, but and it'll give you in like less than a minute a full outline of 6 months of what your goals are, what the recommended strategies are. And then from there, you can even go further. Okay, for the first month, write my copy, write my video scripts, etc. So you can really have, so now we're looking at our productivity and our time. And instead of sitting around hours trying to write captions for Instagram and trying to write copy for our LinkedIn, we're now spending the time working with our chat GPTs and other systems. And instead of writing, we're now senior editors. We're now going to go back in and edit all of the copy that it has created. So it has done wonders. I actually have a whole separate webinar that I do, Brandon, all about social media strategy, business planning, all through chat GPT and Canva.
Oh,
So yeah.
super, super.
Yeah, I'll try to type it in here. I know I kind of
I was
brought it
gonna
up
say,
already.
yeah, let's get a
Yeah.
link for that, because I know
Yeah.
people are wanting, and I love the idea of keeping it simple or focused on one thing at a time. If you're going to do it, try and make it a one pager, because I see sometimes we see the business plans go on. So there's so many pages that you end up not being able to even look back or get anything out of it. It's always a good practice to set up a business plan, but trying to keep it simple enough that you can actually follow it throughout the year has been a hurdle that a lot of people have. So I love your advice on that. And then yeah, some landing page questions. So as you're doing the social media, there will be definitely times that you can use it to capture leads. And so you can always create a landing page and put a link in there with your social media for a survey or whatever you're asking. And then there's also running actual paid ads in the social media is another strategy. And again, if you're doing either one and you're trying to capture that lead on a landing page, you can use usually the platform like Facebook. You can use their landing pages, which we integrate with in Wise Agent. So if someone fills out that landing page, it'll come right over into your Wise Agent account. Or you might want to come into Wise Agent first and create a landing page that you can then use to capture leads and have everything automated on the back end. And so let's see, we got a few minutes, so I'll quickly show just a glimpse of what our landing pages will look like, just so you all have an idea. So the way that we've got it right now, we are looking to update this and even simplify it more. But just know there's support if you have any issues. But we've got a lot of different templates already set up in here as people are asking, hey, I need a template for this or that. And the idea behind these templates is that you can use these. Maybe you want to make a single property page website even, or landing page that you could capture leads on. You can just take ours and then kind of change out the pictures and put pictures and video of your own listing in there and get these things done. So that's what the idea of a template is you don't have to think out the whole landing page. We've done a lot of it. You can just edit these and make it easy. But if you have a different idea for a landing page and you need our help, we can make pretty much anything you can think of if you've seen it out there. The open house landing page is a good example, because so many people, I know I've talked about open house a few times, getting back to the basics, but so many people are still have a sign-in sheet at their landing page or at their open house for you to sign in with a pen and paper. And then they get home and they have to look at that and try to transfer everything into their CRM, and they have to read their writing and they're tired. And so you can see where it doesn't happen at the same level, where if when you walk into my open house, I hand you my iPad or give you a little QR code to scan and you can sign in on your own phone. And then right when you scan it, and I just say, hey, before you walk through the house, the seller's requesting that everyone sign in before they walk through the house. And no one ever has a problem with that. But if you have a digital form, now they can fill in, you can capture a lot more information than just a name and an email that you can hardly read on a printed out form. So they can go through and fill in all the blanks, and you can ask yes or no questions, or when are you planning on, so kind of capture all that information. And then again, because you built the landing page in the CRM system, it's all linked together. And so as soon as someone goes from your Facebook and clicks on that and goes to the landing page and fills it out, well, then their information, or from their open house and they fill it out, the information is automatically added to your CRM, is put in the right category, and then it launches the drip campaign that you've got set up behind it. So it kind of automates the whole system, going back with the social media or the open house or whatever you're doing out there to generate the leads. That's kind of how you can use those landing pages to kind of build that into the process and get some automation there as you're capturing those.
Those landing pages are really great to use also in your social media. So if you're using any of those, if you're using like a mini chat, and like on Instagram, and you want to provide a guide, like a home buyer's guide or home seller's guide, type guide into my private DMs, you can utilize those Wise Agent landing pages to automatically send to them. So this is what top producers and top marketers in real estate are doing, is they're utilizing lead magnets just like that to get more of that engagement and to build more of that trust and resource to their leads, people who aren't in their referrals, right? This is a way that you can showcase what your value is to them.
Absolutely. And I saw Ursula, great question. Where does it go after they fill it in and they click the button? And you can have it go anywhere you want. And so, like Angie was saying, you can have them fill it in, and then when they click the button, it can open up go to another, maybe on your website, and have a page that has details of a PDF on how to, the tips for selling your home, or whatever it is that maybe it was like they call that a lead magnet, where you say, hey, if you click here, I'll give you this. And so you can have it go there. Or when they click that button, you can direct them to another landing page, and then they click that button and go to another. So you can kind of direct them wherever you want. But after they click that button, you kind of get to decide. But just know, when they hit the submit button, it doesn't matter where you directed them. You've already captured their information. So now you can take them to your website, or whatever you want. But just know that now that the goal was accomplished, and we got their information, and now they're going to start off getting dripped on, and the conversion process will start at that point. And then we see Fatima, it looks like she's asking, will the leads from realtor.com link go automatically get into your Wise Agent? And yeah, that's exactly how we've partnered up here, realtor.com and Wise Agent, to make it very seamless. When you're getting leads from realtor.com, they automatically flow right into your Wise Agent CRM, and then it picks it up and it starts sending your automated or branding information to help that conversion process, and puts them on your call list, so you can pick up the phone and make those personal calls and do all that stuff. But yes, it's all connected, and we have step-by-step directions on how to go through and make the link your Wise Agent to these other companies that we get the leads from. And again, if you need our help connecting, we have amazing support standing by 24 hours a day here at Wise Agent. So we will get on and do a Zoom and walk you through and help you make those connections for any of the systems that we have.
Yeah. Agents are always asking, what are your customers doing to convert their leads? How are they having a double-digit conversion? Because we all know a typical conversion rate in real estate is around 2 to 3%, right? If you're doing all your checks and balances and you have a good follow-up plan, maybe you'll have a 5% ROI, or return on investment, conversion rate, whatever, right? But those who are converting in the double digits, we have customers that are converting at 25 to 30% on their realtor.com leads. It's because they're utilizing their systems and tools like Wise Agent. And so those agents are busy, and they're stacking all their technology to ensure that no lead gets missed. Everyone gets connected, everyone is followed up. And that's exactly why we're here, is to show this to you. And it's really, I often get asked, Brandon, like, what's the secret? What is the secret recipe, the secret sauce? And there really isn't. It's just knowing what your tools are, how to use them, and get them connected. And that's why we're here.
Absolutely, yeah. No, that's so true. A lot a lot of us know what we need to do, and it's a matter of doing it. Yeah, you know you need to exercise every day. Did you get to the gym yet today? And it's hard. But once you do these, and it's really not hard, it just takes some effort. And same thing with setting up your drip campaigns or setting up your transaction checklist. It just takes some effort. And there's people around you, just like there's coaches to help you exercise, there's coaches to help you figure out how to set up your transaction checklist. Most of your brokers are very professional at, here's a step-by-step, the best things you can do when you get a buyer or a seller. There's simple things, you guys, that people are not doing. Something as simple as sending out a monthly newsletter. Every single month we write a newsletter for you that you can go customize all you want, or you can just simply say, you know what, I don't have time to customize it, I'm just gonna fire this thing off. And so it'll automatically put your picture and your logo in, and it's just a nice 2-page newsletter that you don't have to do work on, or you can customize it all you want. You can put links in it. You can, add all your new listings to it. But the key is, you're going to hear people out there that say newsletters don't work, and they're right. They do not work if you're not using them. But people that use the newsletter, we have people that pay us every month for our system, $49 a month, and that's the only feature they use, and they swear by it because they've been in business for 15 years, and that's their marketing. But they're doing it consistently. So they don't even work when you send them out the first 3 months. This is something that after 6 months, people start seeing. And a lot of times they're not even reading your newsletter, but they see your name. So marketing works in different ways. And so the key is you got to do it. So you can't, at some point you have to be brave enough to send those emails, pick up the phone, make the calls, and set the new, even if you think, I don't want to send a recipe, it doesn't matter what you think. The other people, you're going to get feedback saying, hey, I made that, whatever that recipe
I love
was.
the recipes.
And
This is the time of year. A lot of agents send their newsletters every quarter now. And I got a handful of recipes in the mail the other day and in my email, and I love them. And you, like, again, just because you don't like them doesn't mean that the person out there doesn't like it. And I'll say one thing about newsletters and about social media. Just because people aren't responding or replying or calling you doesn't mean they're not watching and they're looking and they're saving it. I don't know how many agents, agents that have been in the business for a long time have told me stories where they go into a listing appointment or a pre-buyer consultation and they have all their postcards or all their letters and going, I've been saving your postcards for years and have been waiting for this time to call you. And that's that moment that we want, right? You just never know who's watching. That's why, and I know we're on time here. On social media, it's not about followers, it's about that engagement and those insights. You'll be surprised. I have a very low follower count on my Instagram, but my engagement and insights are through the roof. I have a very well-connected and engaged circle of people on Instagram. And that is what is important. You want that engagement. So one last thing, kind of on this newsletters, automation, it's only as good as you make it and as you want it to be. There was a question here about realtor.com leads and if they're any good. And I want to just bring that up because at the end of the day, your leads from anywhere are not going to convert themselves. These are people on the other side. You have no idea who they are. They're not your referrals. They're not from your sphere of influence, but they have taken the courage to raise their hand on realtor.com or anywhere and say, I need help. I have a question about this property or about this community, and you were the realtor that got selected to get connected to them, right? And so your leads are just as good as your plan to follow up and your intention to be supportive and to service them as buyers and sellers, no matter when it is they want to make the move. So we do have some systems put in place. So for any of those, dummy leads or Mickey Mouse leads that come in, we tend to pull those out right away. But if anyone slips through the cracks, you can certainly work with our support team and they will work you through that and make sure that you get the right amount of leads in your package. So I just wanted to call that out. I didn't want to ignore it because that's a question I get quite often.
I'm sure that's one of your top questions. Angie, I love it. I feel like, man, the time flew. I could talk to you for hours. And so we'll definitely have to have you back. But thank you so much for your time and sharing your wisdom with our members here. And just, you all know that if you missed it before, we did record this. I know we got that question a lot, and we will be sending this out to everyone. And we will also be following up with any questions that we didn't get answered. And then next month, starting off the year, I have the #1 title and escrow team on for January. It's gonna be I think the third week of the month, I believe, is what we're shooting for. But that is Bobby Tarango and Mike Arias. They will not be talking about title. These guys spend all their time kind of going around helping brokers and agents and giving tips. So we're gonna see what we can get out of them. It should be another good one. I hope you can all tune in. Everyone, have a great end of the year. Don't let up. We got some time to make some things happen. Get your systems in place. And we look forward to being part of your business and being your technology partners here. So reach out to Realtor Angie or myself and our teams, and we will take good care of you. And have a great rest of your year, and we'll see you all next year. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Have a good day, everyone.